Thursday, everybody at Prom Sports World. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point, and joining me today is Mr. TJ Hopkins and Mr. CEO of Prime Sports World, Ms. Israel Rivera. Gentlemen, welcome in. This is going to be our 2022 Tennessee Titans season preview, where we're going to be breaking down everything Tennessee Titans. You do not want to miss that content. And if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you get them to the right place. We go live 6 or 7 times a week, bringing you the most up-to-date content. Please like, share, and subscribe to the show if you want to. If you want to get involved in the show, if you don't want to just sit at home and not be involved, I will post the StreamYard link to all of our places. So if you want to join in on the show, please, you're more than welcome to join the show. I put the StreamYard link. As I mentioned, for every show that I invite people on, we do not want to get in trouble with the gods that are Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. So please keep your comments PG as we continue on trying to bring you the best content here on Facebook. Gentlemen, happy Thursday, man. Thursday is my Friday, in case you didn't know. So I love a good Thursday afternoon. How are you guys?
Well, Friday is my Friday, so yeah.
Oh, you're almost there.
And I don't know where Izzy is, but
that's all right. I'm sure he'll pop back in at some point.
He'll pop back in.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Tennessee. So this season preview is on the Tennessee Titans. We've done all 3 teams now in the AFC South. This is the last team. Let's talk about Tennessee. The number 1 seed in the AFC last season. They get bounced in the divisional round by Cincinnati Bengals. What are we expecting from Cincinnati before we get into like the storylines that we're going to talk about here?
Oh well, they're automatically a play in the AFC conference because of their division. They play in arguably the weakest division in football. It's
we started with the AFC South for a reason.
Yeah, it's a 2-team race. It's them and the Colts, and yeah, so they're automatically going to be bare minimum, depending on how their season goes, a wild card team, right? Because it's going to be between them and the Colts to win that division, and yeah, so like they're in play. You gotta wonder how Ryan Tannehill is going to bounce back from that playoff loss.
We'll talk about Ryan Tannehill here in a minute.
I feel like a lot of football fans or Tennessee Titans fans, they put that playoff loss on him, and one person doesn't lose a game. You feel me? Like it's you can't call this the ultimate team sport and then blame one person for why you lose. All right, like
it for sure happens. So, you know.
I mean, like it happens, but yeah, like so I think that's the main storyline going into the season and we'll get into their draft.
Yeah,
like how short of a league, like how short, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, is the Ryan Tannehill leash?
Well, it's at least one season short because Malik Willis isn't even close.
Is it? Yeah. Like, are you 100%. Sure we won't see Malik Willis this season at all?
I'm 100% sure, positive. I would put my life savings on it, unless Ryan Tannehill gets hurt, then all bets are off. But I would be legitimately shocked if Malik Willis sees the field in some sort of non-injury scenario. For me, with Tennessee, yeah, I agree with you. I think as long as the ship stays afloat, I expect them to be a playoff team, if not a high-level playoff team, because they don't have a lot to compete with in the AFC South. Izzy, thoughts on Tennessee before we move to the storylines?
And be respectful.
Yeah, please try to be respectful because you haven't been all that respectful for the last 24 hours.
Oh God, you guys are crazy, man.
12.
With Tennessee, for me, it's it's going to be a lot of Derrick Henry, and the element of the air attack is not there. I mean, you don't have AJ Brown here. And you didn't really have much outside of him anyways to throw to. So now it's kind of like you have to replace that production. So how are you going to suffice that by just giving the ball to Derrick Henry a million times? I mean, that's a great game plan,
Well, we'll get into that for it's just like let's just jump right into the storylines. Let's talk about the first storyline. Is this a make or break season for Ryan Tannehill? I think it is for sure a make or break season for Ryan Tannehill. If they don't continue to get better, if he doesn't take them to the Super Bowl, I want to say, I think we're going to look at Tennessee probably looking to move on. Is this a make or break for you when it comes to Ryan Tannehill? Izzy, go first.
I mean, they drafted Malik Willis. They're clearly saying that Ryan Tannehill is not the future of the franchise. So yeah, this is a make or break season for Ryan Tannehill for the Tennessee Titans. I suppose. I mean, if they're gonna sign him for another 2 or 3 years, eventually they're saying Malik Willis is gonna be our next Steve McNair, right?
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Yes, but also. If they decide to move on from Ryan Tannehill after this season or in the middle of the season, in terms of bringing in Malik Willis to play, see what the young guys got, especially if they stumble out of the playoff picture. This is a season where Ryan Tannehill might be playing for another contract somewhere else. So that's my whole gist on that.
TJ.
Well, yeah, it's clearly make or break. Depending on how the development of Malik Willis goes this year, right? Like now, this is a tough straw for him because it's one of those. If you're gonna play me, then play me. All right, don't do this. I play one game. I don't see the field again for the next 4. And then I play again. Like, if you're going to play me, play me. But if you're going to sit me and have me hold this clipboard, then do that. Right? And I think Mike Vrabel is that kind of head coach where he's gonna dance with who got him here. Right? Ryan Tannehill has, despite all his shortcomings, Ryan Tannehill has had a successful career in Tennessee. He's definitely turned his career around. Right? He went from sucking it up in
Yeah,
he sucked it up, and he was terrible in Miami, and part of that is what was around him and the environment in Miami. He goes to Tennessee as a backup to Mariota and took his job, basically, right? Like, they just said, what the hell? How much worse can he be? And they actually found something. So I think his contract situation not only does how he played this season go into it, but it's also the development of Malik Willis. If Malik Willis is a quick learner, if he can pick up what they're putting down quickly, I think no matter how good Ryan Tannehill plays, he's out of there.
I tend to agree with you on that. I think because Malik Willis is for sure going to need to sit. I don't think they're going to use him in like gadget stuff. Like, they're not going to run him in like one play where they have him play for one snap and then come out. I do not believe that Mike Vrabel's that kind of guy. But yeah, this is a make or break season for Ryan Tannehill. He's only under contract, guaranteed money for next season. He has no more further money on the table after next season. So I mean, the Titans could look to trade him if Malik Willis picks up the offense quick enough. And it's not, let's not sit here and pretend like the Tennessee Titans are running some sort of extremely sophisticated offense. I mean, it's really just give the ball to Derrick Henry, throw it when you have to. I mean, it's not a complicated offense.
They did get they did pick up sign Robert Woods, but he's coming off an injury.
Yeah, ACL tear. His ability to come be ready.
And we'll get to their draft picks. Well, yeah, and we'll get to their draft picks as well because they drafted Treylon Burke. So that might suffice some stuff. And Treylon Burke,
he's hurt right now.
Yeah, but I mean,
so he's not even participating in like OTAs right now.
Right. But you anticipate he's going to play at some point during the season. So my whole thing is, I mean, the element of the pass is still murky, right? Even though the cachet that Robert Woods brings.
The cachet, please, come on.
I mean, he was
Bobby Trees doesn't have any cachet. He's fine, but he's nothing special.
Yeah, but Robert Woods.
I'm being a little disrespectful.
Was having a great year.
Yes, you are.
Robert Woods was having a great year last year. He's been pretty consistent with the LA Rams. His career. So he's one of the top 15 receivers in the league.
No, he's not. He's not
top
close.
15.
No, he's not.
In the league when he's healthy,
No.
he's a top 15 wide
Well,
receiver.
put it this way. Put it this way. Put it this way.
We're not doing this right now.
Izzy, to back up your point, in 9 games,
he's probably he's in the top 20 for sure.
In 9 games, he did have 550.
Oh, 5 off, David. Oh my God.
It matters.
In 9 games, he did have 556 yards. So there's no telling what he would have done with the additional 8.
Okay, sure. I also might be a little bit bitter because I traded for Ryan Tannehill in fantasy, or for Robert Woods in fantasy, and then he got injured immediately.
You are bitter.
I'm a little bit bitter. I might be a little bit bitter. It's fine.
Personal feelings.
But Robert Woods is still not a top 15 receiver. He's just not. So second storyline, Titans. Derrick Henry's workload he got injured. Maybe the workload had nothing to do with it. But do you think they're going to reduce Derrick Henry's workload in 2020, or do you think he's still going to have 300 plus touches this year? Keep in mind the Browns signed Jontrell Hilliard this offseason, and they also drafted a running back in this year's draft.
Yeah, they drafted Rashaan Haskins, who had he had a really good year at Michigan. Yeah. Rashaan Haskins had a really good year at Michigan.
So do you think that'll lead directly to less touches for Derrick Henry? Like, do you think they're going to limit his workload a little bit?
Hell no. He's gonna
It should, but like I think they always say that the running back is the easiest transition to the NFL, but one thing that you can't adjust for is that level of punishment, right? So Rashaan Haskins coming from a run-heavy offense in Michigan, that's not the same as like the dudes that hit you in Michigan. That's not the same as the guys that's going to be hitting you on Sunday.
Well, if you're going to get the Ohio State, a lot of those guys end up playing on Sunday.
That's not the same.
He's a spellback.
Half kidding, dude.
He's a spellback, man. He's going to spell Derrick Henry when like 1 or 2 plays in a drive or something like that, and he's a banger. So, Rashaan Haskins is a north and south runner, run in between the tackles type of runner, hard-nosed runner. So you don't...
One cut.
That's literally
one cut.
I mean, he's downhill. He's downhill. So you go from Derrick Henry to one of the most downhill running backs that is going to come in the league here in Rashaan Haskins this season. So, you're going to get... I mean, that guy's a banger, man. So... You're gonna have a good running game next year, like I said, and you miss a lot when Derrick Henry gets off the field. You can't replace him, but Rashaan Haskins is still gonna be able to produce that downhill running style that Derrick Henry produces for your team.
If anything, you should have confidence in this run. Now, don't get me wrong, AJ Brown does not walk through that door again, but everybody basically wrote the Titans off when Derrick Henry was out. They said that was it, and they still secured the number 1 seed in the playoffs without for him missing majority of the season. So his workload should be lightened on that.
Let me give you an over/under. Okay, so last season in 8 games he had 219 touches. The season before that he had 378 touches. The season before that he had 303 touches. Over/under at 250 touches, rushing touches for Derrick Henry in 2022. Over. Or under 250.
Over
the line.
I'm gonna take the line too. I think the Titans understand. I think if the Titans, you got to understand the big picture, right? Like, you're probably going to be a playoff team. So you need to keep Derrick Henry healthy for when it matters, which is the playoffs, right? Like, so if you get Derrick Henry beat to blank before he even gets to the playoffs, he's not going to be that valuable in the playoffs. So the Titans have to understand, like, he came back off that injury last year. He didn't quite look like the same guy during that game when he was going up against Cincinnati. So you want to keep him healthy going into the playoffs.
That's what I keep in mind, David. Like, we can say that all we want, but the crazy part is, hold on. We've been saying this about the Titans for years, right? The other teams know what they want to do. Other teams know who's getting the ball. They know who's getting the ball. They still can't stop him. Like,
I gotta say
they
something.
know that monster's getting the ball. You know Derrick Henry's getting the ball.
I gotta say something.
Go ahead.
So you mean to tell me You mean to tell me you guys are going to take the line on 250 touches of carries, right?
Yeah.
That's 14 carries in a 17-game season. Do you think he's only going to get 14 carries a game in a 17-game season?
I think there'll be games.
No.
There'll be games where he has more or less than that. But what if we make the line 300?
No.
300?
No.
If we made the line 300, I think.
No, you said 250. You said 250.
I'm still taking the line.
Stick to 250. We're not going to raise it up because I said it was 14 and now you start to think about it. No, he's getting 20 carries a game. The line is over. He's
40?
getting 300
He's not getting 40 carries a game.
He's getting I said 20 carries a game.
Oh,
he's getting at least 20 carries a game.
All right, I guess. But I do think
20 carries a game because
I do think
the Titans are going to be blowing teams out this year.
No.
So then he's going to get 20 carries a game. He's going to get 20 carries.
I think they're going to give these other running backs on their roster some carries. I don't think they're going to run him into the ground through the first part of the season. I just don't. I think they're going
to on how many passes Ryan Tannehill is probably going to pass this year. It's probably going to be 18 to 20 pass attempts this year.
I would take the over on that
because they'll be giving the damn ball to Haskins and Henry all damn game.
And they have Dontrell Hilliard. I just mentioned it. It was a good run. It was a good player. Moving on to our final storyline that we're going to talk about: will the Titans end up regretting that AJ Brown trade? Yes or no?
It depends on what Treylon Burke turns into. It depends on how Robert Woods. It depends on how healthy Robert Woods is going to come back.
They made that Robert Woods trade even before they made his.
I know.
It's no. So like the real. You already said it. It's Robert Woods being traded there was before.
Yeah.
The AJ Brown trade. So it's really how Treylon Burks turns out, right? So because that's essentially how you look at it, right? You traded AJ Brown away, then you drafted. Treylon Burke. So Treylon Burks is essentially the AJ Brown replacement.
Because
so really
the Titans didn't want to pay AJ Brown, so they went with the younger option. So this is the guy who has to fill those footsteps.
So it's really on Treylon Burks and what he does. And from what we've seen, some rookie receive like the bar is now raised for certain rookie receivers because of the likes of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and what they've done in their rookie year. So it's unfair because every rookie receiver doesn't get sent to the situations that they got sent to, right? It's unfair.
Yeah.
But if you don't produce at least close to what they did their rookie years, it's like the jury's out on you, right? Like.
The Jalen Waddles of the world too, who had an amazing rookie season. Like those guys have made it difficult for wide receivers now to follow that up. Like now, like if a wide receiver doesn't have an amazing first season, we automatically think, oh, they're a bust. Like it's become a crazy.
If you if you're a rookie receiver, if you don't come out the gate with at least 1,200 yards in your rookie year, you're terrible.
Yeah.
Unfair, it's unfair, but It's easy to say yes right now because AJ Brown is established and you know what you're going to get from him. Right?
Like you drafted Treylon Burke hoping he turns into AJ Brown. Why not just pay AJ Brown?
It's easier said than done because I don't know who else is up for a contract on that team, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to pay some other people.
I mean, Derrick Henry's going to need an extension at some point. I mean, but
so going off of what you guys are saying, like so AJ Brown, so Treylon Burks, he was compared in the pre-draft. I mean, he's 6'2", 225, compared very much to AJ Brown from when he came in. He's going to have to give the same type of production as what AJ Brown gave him as a rookie. Obviously,
6'2", 225.
25. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of Treylon Burks last year. His quarterback was KJ Jefferson, who isn't the greatest passer. How many
SEC quarterbacks are?
I'm just talking about his quarterback. KJ Jefferson isn't the greatest passer, and he still got over 1,100 yards. He's a good possession wide receiver. I don't know about his route running ability and his escapability. That is what really separates a lot of these guys in the NFL. But he is very athletic, and he can go up and get that ball and wrestle that ball away from some of these DBs here in the NFL. So he's a guy that you can go in the red zone. You could throw it up to him. They did a lot of plays like that with KJ Jefferson, where he come up to the line. They did a lot of like Cam Newton style plays with KJ Jefferson, and they got the ball to Treylon Burke like that in that way. So I look to see them do kind of those type of packages with Ryan Tannehill, maybe Malik Willis in the red zone to Treylon Burke in that kind of capacity, right?
I hope they don't do that.
Well, I mean, it's a possibility. Mike Vrabel's a kind of he pulls out some gadget stuff near the goal line. So
Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
and you got Derrick Henry. You're right. Yeah. But I mean, if you want element of surprise, but like I said, Treylon Burke is he's got some work to do in terms of his route running and his separation ability from some of these cornerbacks. But he's got the tools to be a good rookie wide receiver. If he taps into that potential. So.
The track record of the Tennessee Titans taking wide receivers in the first round over the last 25 years is not particularly good. So we're talking Corey Davis, Kendall Wright, Kenny Britt, Kevin Dyson. So I guess we'll find out. Let's jump right into their draft. Number one pick from the Philadelphia Eagles. They traded A.J. Brown, obviously, for this pick, and they got Treylon Burke. They got Roger Mccrary, a good corner out of Auburn in the second round. In the third round, they got Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. Malik Willis, also in round 3 from the Las Vegas Raiders, quarterback out of Liberty. Hassan Haskins, running back out of Michigan, round 4. Also in round 4, man, I'm not really going to go try.
I just
Jagosium Okonowana.
Okakwo.
Tight end out of Maryland. Theo Jackson, defensive back, Tennessee. Chance Campbell, linebacker out of Ole Miss. Looking at the Tennessee Titans draft, what do we think about their draft?
Well,
go ahead, Eddie.
Well, I already kind of discussed Treylon Burke. Roger McCrary's he's one of the better cornerbacks out of the SEC.
A steal where they got him. He had for sure a first round buzz on him.
Yeah, he had first round buzz. Physical corner out of Auburn. I seen him play. Have some good games there. The kid out of Ohio State. Anytime you get an Ohio State offensive lineman, I can't really pinpoint his ability. But the kid out of Ohio State, anytime you get an Ohio State offensive lineman, he's going to be solid. And then obviously Malik Willis, we all know his story. He transferred from, if I'm not mistaken, Auburn to Liberty because he couldn't pretty much cut it. And at Liberty, he showed ability where he's very athletic. He has a strong arm. But one thing about Malik Willis, he holds on to that damn ball too long, and everybody knows it. And so he's got to do a lot. He's got to understand to not make the right play and not make the home run play all the time, because that's what he like to do against Liberty. And when I saw him against Ole Miss, which was my measuring stick against some D1, some legit D1 competition, some pro level competition, he didn't play well against Ole Miss. So Malik Willis is a project. And Hassan Haskins, we touched on him. He's a downhill running back. In between the tackles, hard-nosed guy. Great coach by Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. So they got a good running back in that. And then the other three guys I really don't know too much of. So in their draft. So
they also drafted wide receiver Kyle Phillips in the 5th round. I don't know how.
Out of UCLA. Oh yeah, no, he's okay. He's a slot guy. He's and I seen enough of him. He had DTR as his quarterback. So I can't really say, oh my God, Kyle Phillips, had the best quarterback out there. But he could be a good slot guy, a special teams guy, a kick return guy. So
I love the Roger Mccrary pick. I think it was really one of the better picks of the entire draft because they have so many question marks at cornerback right now. With Caleb Farley coming off the ACL, Christian Fulton coming 2 years removed from the Achilles tear they had. He had Elijah Molden. Roger Mccrary should start for them this season.
Caleb Farley with the back issue.
Yeah.
And the ACL. He tore his ACL last season.
Yeah, Roger Mccrary, man, he's physical. He's a point of attack kind of guy, and he's good in run support too. He's a good open field tackler. Well,
the back to Treylon Burke, I remember I think it was a newspaper or whatever. It was a website in Tennessee. They wrote for I think they was like a Tennessee Titans based article, and what's his name, Treylon Burke. He kind of had to tap out like the first day of like rookie OTAs, and they like, well, this is the guy you traded. You traded away AJ Brown for it. He can't make. I'm like, bro, that's probably his first time running since his pro day. Whenever the Arkansas pro day was, right? So, and last time I checked that I'm like, this was back in May, right? I'm like, it's like May 20th, right? This isn't the fall. This isn't August, September, October, and he has to like tap out of practice because he's winded. It's May.
He also talked about he has asthma, so he had an inhaler. Like that makes a lot of sense. Like, all the people are so hypercritical about the offseason stuff. Do you remember how much hate Jamar Chase got in the offseason, like during the preseason, where he was dropping all those passes in the preseason, and he was complaining about the football being too big. And like, look what he did when it actually mattered. Like, people need to calm down. Like it's so like it's ridiculous.
Is the Roger, hold on, wait, is the Duke bigger than the Duke is bigger than college football? It's a little bit bigger.
It's bigger.
It's bigger. Yeah. Okay, because I thought the only separation was the white line that because the the white line that the college football has on it.
No, I don't know how much bigger. I don't know how much bigger it is, but it's it's not substantially bigger, but it is bigger. Yeah.
That's so odd. So odd.
And I like taking the Ohio State. I mean, they've been looking to replace they went to Cleveland a few years ago. They haven't really been able to do that. This kid from Ohio State should give them an opposite at right tackle, and he can play a little bit left tackle. He's a 2-year starter at Ohio State, playing in the Big Ten. Those Big Ten offensive linemen usually pan out pretty well. Getting him in the third round also was kind of a steal. I did see an early mock drafts that this guy had first round buzz on him. So to get him in round 3, same thing with Malik Willis. I mean, say what you want, getting him in round 3 is a steal. If they can get the kind of potential that is there out of him, it's a steal in the third round. He did not play well at all down the stretch of this season, his most recent season in college football. He didn't play well at all. Interception issues, accuracy issues, but he killed it at the pro day. He's got a crazy arm. He's got all of the intangibles you want in a guy to lead your franchise. I think there is some questions about if Ryan Tannehill is even willing to allow this guy to grow underneath him. Because if I'm Ryan Tannehill, I'm not going to help this guy take my job. Like I need to feed my family too.
Like that's so yeah, like he went viral for saying like it's not my job to it's not my job to help this, like, and in a way he's right, because I'm not a coach. That's what coaching, that's what the coach is for. Right? Like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers kind of he caught bullets for doing the same thing, saying the same thing about Jordan Love. Like, yo, in a way, he's right. It's not my job to coach you. Right? Like, that's what the coach, like that. My name is Aaron Rodgers, the football player, not coach. My name is Ryan Tannehill, the football player, not coach. Right? So in a way, like, he's right. It's not his job to mentor Malik Willis.
We got a comment. We got a comment from our Michigan super fan David Henderson. He said, "Come on, Ohio State sucks." And he said, "Ryan Tannehill is the dollar store quarterback you get when you can't afford a real one."
I don't know about all that. That seems over the top. But that's overly
on here. I
put the StreamYard in. The StreamYard link is in there. All you have to do if you want to join the show, just click on the link and join, man. You could more than welcome to jump on the show, because you were very, very good in the Jacksonville Jaguar show too. And when I ran the Colts job, what was it, the Houston Texans show by myself, he was also involved in that show. So thank you very much, David, for your
I was
continued
here
support.
for the Texans show. I was here for the Texans show. You
David
jerk.
Henderson hopped
No,
on
you were
the
here. You were here for the Jaguar show. I ran the Texans show by myself.
Oh,
he
sure?
hopped in on the
You're right.
He hopped in the Texan show.
Yeah, no, he just put some comments in the show that
He's hilarious. Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, let's move on from their draft because I think we spent enough time on it. To their free agency or their roster shakeup here in free agency. Major additions: Austin Hooper, Jamarco Jones, who plays tackle, Robert Woods in a trade with the Los Angeles Rams. Their key departures: Robert Saffold, Julio Jones, Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, Rashaan Evans, Anthony Frisker's the tight end, AJ Brown. They traded to the Philadelphia Eagles on draft day. What do we think about their free agency roster? This is a team that did not have a lot of cap room. So they did what they could. I actually really like Austin Hooper being on this team. I think he gives them that tight end threat that they've been looking for since they let all of their tight ends leave a few years ago with Jonnu Smith and what were the other guys' name was?
Yeah, them losing Jonnu Smith, like that was head scratching to me. Austin Hooper kind of like he fell into that Buffalo, that Cleveland Brown trap. Like he was up there, and it didn't pan out. Right, like it just didn't work. Now he's in a new situation. Julio Jones is not 50.
Yeah.
Right. First off, be respectful. We gonna be respectful to the best receiver of a generation. Like that is the best.
He's not.
You hear that? Yes, he. Oh, so like all these years you've been agreeing with me. Now all of a sudden he's not the best receiver of a generation.
Is him and DeAndre Hopkins in that same generation together?
No.
Oh, okay, then yeah, he is. Okay, yeah, then he is.
Jesus Christ! You hear that, Izzy? It's Julio, not Devontae Adams. He probably hate Devontae Adams anyway.
Dude, those guys aren't even in the same class. DeAndre Hopkins is closer to being in the same other generation.
I think the one free agent, the one departure they're going to miss the most is definitely Rashaan Evans.
Signal caller, Mike linebacker for this team.
Yeah, I forgot the term I used for them, but when you look at their defense, it's just underrated all around, right? When they had him, they still have Harold Landry, underrated edge rusher.
Harold Landry got paid this offseason. Jeffrey Simmons, Denico Autry, Zach Cunningham, Bud Dupree, Amani
Kevin
Hooker,
Byard.
Kevin Bynard.
Underrated, like all their big, like those guys are so severely underrated. Like and rightly so, right? Like when you got premier edge rushers, right? There are some guys you're gonna pick before you get to Harold Landry and who's the other one?
Jeffrey Simmons, who plays a little bit. He plays a little bit interior too, like.
Right, like there's some guys you're gonna get to before you. Right, like there's some names you're gonna say before you get to those guys. Kevin Byard at free safety really don't get talked about enough.
Might be the best free safety in the NFL.
Yeah, does not get talked about enough at all. Right, so defense, and we already know Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel was never a coach before this. He was just a linebacker. Right, he was a linebacker under Bill Belichick.
Well, he was on TV. Job. He was on TV for a hot minute.
That ain't coaching.
It's true. that is a message for you, Kendrick Perkins. If you want to, just because you're on TV doesn't mean you can coach in the NBA. Just that's a whole conversation for another time. But
so
yeah. No. And just to touch on it a little bit, I do like I said, like David said, I do like the Austin Hooper addition. It does give them a tight end that they haven't had in a couple seasons, especially losing like Jonnu Smith, who had that 10 touchdowns or so, right? When he had that great season.
Yeah, he was very productive.
He was very productive with them a couple seasons ago. And then Robert Woods, we touched on him a little bit. If he's healthy, I mean, he had 2 out of the last 4 seasons, he had over 1,000 yards. He was on projected last year to get way over 1,000 yards. And then the year before, he was close to getting 1,000 yards, but that was a down year for Jared Goff and the LA Rams, right? If to say so.
I mean,
So
they still
Robert
went to
Woods
the
is
playoffs, but sure.
Robert Woods is a solid addition.
Well,
And
he
then
got a Super Bowl. I mean, he got a Super Bowl ring. I mean, he got a Super Bowl ring for last season. Right? Again,
right, and then
he had 550 some yards in 9 games
He's
last
a
season.
quality wide receiver, but to call him like a top 10, 15 wide receiver, I think is a
I
little
said top
ridiculous.
15.
He said top 15.
I said top 15. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Damn it, golly.
Oh,
Okay, and then
man,
and then
Hey, that's right.
what-
Hey, that's right, Izzy. That's right, Izzy. Defend your words. Like, God, I'm gonna sit back and watch this.
Jamarco Jones is just a backup guard who's
Yeah.
not going to play much. So, but yeah, no, losing.
They better hope he doesn't play much, and they better hope he doesn't play much.
He's not that good. No, he's not that good.
It's true. He's not.
He's not that good. Yeah.
Excuse me.
So moving on from free agency, let's see. Final thoughts, real quick, before we move to their schedule.
Go ahead.
No, I think when we touch on, I'll touch on the last two things. Adding Roger McCrary, losing Janoris Jenkins, losing, that you kind of add youth more than experience, right? And you're looking at Roger McCrary to step right in and be that man, be the man, to deal with the second best wide receiver.
Sure, but this is a very young secondary that they're going to be rolling. Caleb Farley, Christian Fulton, Roger McCrary, Elijah Molden, all 3 years or younger.
Before we go, hold on, is David Henderson still watching? Because like I saw the comments you said, like, what best receiver of a generation? Yes, Julio Jones for his career. Like, don't let these last 2 years fool you, right? He's been beat to hell the last 2-3 years. Don't let that fool you from the fact that this man still has over 13,000 receiving yards for his career. Be respectful.
Look at the comment he said. Yeah, you're right. Ryan Tannehill is average. I agree.
I think moving on to their schedule, let's predict some games here.
I don't think anybody was saying Tannehill wasn't average. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah,
right.
I think the problem with him is that he's too average.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pick some games here at Tennessee. Their first game, they welcome in the New York Giants into Nissan Stadium. Does this season get off with a W? Yes or no?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a W. That's a W.
And then the next week they go to Buffalo in Orchard Park and take on the Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills. And is this where things? That's an L.
That's an L.
I agree.
You got to keep in mind what they won this game. They won this matchup last year, right? Tennessee did. They won this match. They won this game in Tennessee. They won this game last year.
I'm expecting Buffalo to win 15 games this season.
Me too.
I'm expecting Buffalo to win 15 games and Josh Allen to be the MVP this year. So that's my expectations for Buffalo. So
he said that's my expectations.
Yeah, Tennessee won this game. I can't find the final score, but they did win this game.
Okay, and Derrick Henry played a pivotal part in that.
Derrick Henry had a 76-yard touchdown.
It was 34. It was 34-31.
Remember that's the game where they went instead of kicking the game tying field goal, they went for it on fourth down.
They went for it,
and they got stopped.
I had no issue with it. Go for the win. Forget OT. Go for the win. Derrick Henry had 20 for 143 and 3 touchdowns. You said 76 of that 143 came on one run.
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
So, Orchard Park is a tough place to play. I think I agree with y'all. Yeah, they lose this one. So they're 1-1.
And then they welcome in the Las Vegas Raiders into their house. I think they get back on the winning ways here. I think they beat Las Vegas in Tennessee. Whoa. So give me Tennessee, the Titans. I still think the Raiders are going to have trouble stopping the run. And what do the Titans want to do? They want to run the ball.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to have to run the ball. But I'm going to tell you this right now. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to test those young cornerbacks of Tennessee, those wide receivers.
Quickly.
Yeah, real quick. So it's going to be a real wake-up call for that secondary, that young secondary that you're throwing out there. I don't think they get a win here. I think they lose this game to Vegas. think they lose this game to Vegas. I think Devontae Adams has enough of an impact. You know, you got Hunter Renfrow, you got my boy Darren Waller, and I think Las Vegas can run the football too as well. So you know, give me Vegas
Josh
here.
Jacobs.
Yeah.
Not to mention on their defensive front, Max Crosby got some help now.
Yeah,
His name's
yeah,
Chandler Jones.
It's true. I mean, they had a unique Ngakoue last season, but you know.
David Henderson is a Packers fan, so never mind
Devontae
this
Adams dropped.
comment.
Devontae Adams dropped.
Yeah. Shut up, David. Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah. What's the Yannick Ngakoue? I just think for some reason that guy just hasn't been able to figure it out. Right, like Jackson. Ever since that 1 year in Jacksonville, where they thought they was gonna win the Super Bowl, it's been literally downhill from there. Like the next season was terrible. He goes to Baltimore, never found his ground, goes to Minnesota. Think they cut him, right? Like it's just whatever it is. I'm a side with Izzy on this one. I think they lose to Vegas. I just think I mean, like, would I be surprised if they win? Would I be surprised if the Titans win this game? Absolutely not.
I'm taking with the Titans. I agree with you, Eric. Though I think they will take several steps back, but I still think they're going to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. But I do think it'll be a close game. I think this one could go either way. From here we go. They go to Indianapolis, take on the Colts. I think when I did the season preview show yesterday, I had them splitting the home and home. So I'm taking Indianapolis to win this game. I have the Titans falling to 2-2.
Yeah, I got the Titans losing this game at Indy as well. Starting the season off 1-3.
All right, Matt Ryan, you're up. 1-3. Yeah, I can see that. Then they get back in the win column against Washington.
Yeah, they go to Washington into East Landover, Maryland, to take on the Washington Commanders.
Or was it Commanders?
The Commanders. Yeah.
This is a win.
Tennessee's winning this game. Washington, I know they have Carson Wentz, but that offensive line is still kind of a train wreck. Their wide receiving core outside of Terry McLaurin is kind of a mess. Yeah, give me the Titans to
their team is a mess. Their team is under a federal investigation that is not being taught. They are thanking their lucky stars that every other day a new story about Deshaun Watson pops up.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that they're lucky that Deshaun Watson is getting all the publicity for his offseason.
Otherwise, the Washington Commies would be having a bad time. That is such a bad name. I'm telling you. Like,
give it real talk. Like when all this is said and done, give it a year. Dan Snyder's gonna be forced to sell the team.
Probably. Then they have their bye week, and then Indianapolis comes there. I mentioned that I have the two teams splitting, so I'll have Tennessee winning this game. I have them moving up to 4-2.
Okay. I don't have it. Wait, so you have them beating? You said 4-2. You have them beating Vegas? Okay.
Yeah.
I got them at 3-3. I'm with you. They split. The Indy game.
Watson. I got them splitting with Indy. They went at home as well, so I got them at 3. I got them 3-3.
And then they go to Houston and take on what's left of the Houston Texans.
Come on.
I'll give them a W on that one. I got them at 5-2. And then they go to Arrowhead in a rematch of the AFC Championship game from a few years ago. Also, the matchup where the Titans beat down Kansas City. I think last year they played in the regular season game. Right, yeah, so I have Kansas City beating the Tennessee Titans pretty easily.
I got them at 4-4.
Oh, you are disrespectful.
Hey, don't do Houston. Don't do Houston. Hey, watch out, my friend. Because look,
Davis Mills,
bro. Davis Mills is gonna take a step up this year, and that he might make the game interesting. He might make the game interesting this season. I'm just telling you. But they're not winning. They're not gonna win.
I'm gonna say this. I hope I find a partner that believes in me as much as you believe in Davis Mills.
I love that guy.
Me too, TJ. Me too.
Great quarterback in this league.
But
I think that guy's gonna be a great quarterback in this league. He's gonna be the steal of last year's draft.
Emphasis on great. Emphasis like
I think he is. I think he's gonna be a great quarterback.
He's gonna be a great quarterback.
Great quarterback. I think he's gonna be a great quarterback. I think this season. I think next season you'll see Davis Mills take that next step into being like, oh my, okay, Davis Mills is gonna be a franchise quarterback for the Houston Texans. Like he's taking the mantle for
is that really saying much though? Is that really saying much?
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We're moving on.
But anyway, Kansas City, they beat Kansas City. They beat Kansas City.
You have them beating Kansas City?
Absolutely.
Hey,
I don't necessarily hate it. I don't necessarily hate it.
No, hear me. Right. So hear me. The X Factor, right? The ultimate X Factor in Kansas City, he's gone. He's gone.
They're gonna try to replace him with a rookie.
He's gone, right? Juju, I ain't worried about Juju. Juju want to make TikToks.
I'm sure not worried about MVS.
Juju want to make TikToks, right? You know, Valdez Scantling won 2 routes, a quick slant, or 3 routes, a quick 4, a quick slant, a quick in, a quick out, and a go.
And they usually, and if the ball's thrown near him, he probably drops it.
Right, so you gonna single high Travis Kelce. Right,
you guys forgetting that Sky Moore is gonna be the best wide receiver. He's gonna be one of the best.
You gonna single high Travis Kelce until Sky Moore do something in the National Football League. They ain't finna lose no sleep over him. Like, come on, Izzy, the guy who owns General Mills cereal, couldn't play. That's funny. That's funny.
Anyways.
So you gonna single high Travis Kelce. You ain't worried about Scott Moore until he actually produces. You're going to shut down the run game early because we already know when Kansas City Chiefs can't run the ball, they abandon it pretty quickly.
It's true.
And
I don't necessarily hate that take. That's how they won the game last year. So, you know. Moving on from there, they welcome in the Denver Broncos into their house. I actually have Tennessee winning this game over Denver. I think this Derrick Henry is going to have a good game. I think I think the talent of the Denver defense, especially on the line and linebackers, is a little overrated. I think their secondary is phenomenal. I think their safeties are pretty good, but outside of their edge rushers, I think they can be had in the middle and their linebacking core. Give me Tennessee to win this game. I have them rising up to 6-3.
Yeah, give me Tennessee. Give me Tennessee as well. Denver's gonna have Denver's going into their place. So give me Tennessee to win that game as well. 5-4 for them right now.
Offensively, that's all the talk about the Denver Broncos, right? For obvious reasons, right? Like they always felt like this offense was a quarterback away from getting over the top. It wasn't Drew Lock. I was wrong. I thought Drew Lock had a full season healthy, like no COVID. No injury, like no nothing. He could take the next steps and
I thought the same thing about Drew Lock, but I guess we'll find out what he's going to be doing in Seattle. So,
getting ready to lose his job to C.J. Stroud or somebody.
Yeah, right. Getting ready to enter getting ready to put the Seattle Seahawks in the C.J. Stroud sweepstakes. Okay.
Outside of Bradley, Bryce Young,
or the kid from Kentucky is probably going to be the third quarterback in this draft,
or Florida, or the kid from Florida.
Yeah, or was it Matt Alexander or something, Josh Alexander, something like that?
No, the kid from Florida is the other kid, but
I think his last name is Alexander, the kid from Florida.
Looking at the Bronco defense, I can see that. David, why you would pick the Titans?
Anthony Richardson.
Thank you. I had the first name right.
That Broncos secondary gonna be tough. Pat Surtain, Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons. They kicking the tires on Ronald Darby.
So I got them at what 5-4. This is gonna be their 10th game going into Green Bay. Oh, did we get to Green Bay yet? Did we get the Green Bay?
No, we're just about to start the Green Bay. I have them.
I'm gonna take Denver. I got them at 5. They go 5-4 heading into Green Bay.
And then I got them losing in Green Bay. I don't think Lambeau's an easy place to play, and I just got
Lambeau's not an easy place to play, but it don't matter if they play Green Bay in the parking lot. That's going to be a top 7 defense, a top 5 defense this year. So
anyway,
yeah,
the bias.
and let me tell you something.
The bias
That's
is
a top 5
showing.
defense this year, and I could go down the list as to why my Green Bay Packers are going to be top. But I'm not going to go into that. But they took an L here at Lambeau. They take an L.
David Henderson says they win 97-3. Green Bay wins 97-3. I don't actually hate that prediction.
You know what, Izzy? Just to spite you. Just to spite you. Tennessee wins and they're 6-4 at this point.
I'm not doing anything out of spite right now.
We boasted the run. We've been getting better in terms of adding guys that can stop the run.
Let's move on to Cincinnati. They welcome in Cincinnati into their house in a rematch of the divisional round game that Cincinnati won. Does the result end the same?
I feel like this game should be in Cincinnati for some reason. That's just me. Like this game should be in, like Cincinnati beat them when it really mattered. Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl. Like this game should be in Cincinnati.
This game's not even on prime time. It's just a 1:00 game.
And it should be and it should be in like this should definitely should definitely be like a Sunday night or Sunday like the 3:30 slot on CBS. Or
it's on CBS,
this would be like one of them.
It's what 1:00. So
yeah,
at this point in the season, you'll start to see that young cornerback core, that youth that we've been talking about, start to kind of mold into their own. I think that they will be tested with Jamar Chase. And and who else is on that team?
T. Higgins. Remember you put T. Higgins in your top 15 in our fantasy football rankings. You forgot his name already.
Yeah, T. Higgins. I was trying to get Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. I didn't want to say Tyler Higgins. I was trying to get both of those guys' names right. But but this is where that cornerback core is going to start to mold into your own. You're going to start to see, okay, are they? Is this going to be is this going to be the future of our team? Obviously it is. Give me Tennessee at home again.
I'm also taking Tennessee to win to beat Cincinnati at home. I think I agree with you. Not so much about the secondary stuff, but I just think the running game of Derrick Henry. They lost their big defensive tackle there in Cincinnati. They didn't really replace him with anybody. So yeah, give me Tennessee to win this game. I think it's going to be a close one. This should be one of the better games of the season.
Sweep it.
David Henderson has Cincinnati winning the game 26-3. We will both respectively all three of us will respectively disagree with you, David. Moving on there, they go to Philadelphia and take on the Eagles, and I think this is where the winning streak ends at one game. I think Philadelphia beats them. I think Philadelphia actually beats them at home.
Yeah, this is gonna be the Tennessee Titans are gonna be 6-6. Philly's much better this year.
Much better. They're not much better, but they are better.
Jalen Hurts is still throwing the ball, so give me the Tennessee. Give me the Tennessee.
They're much better.
Jalen Hurts is. I don't care what weapons he has. Don't care what weapons.
Defensively, Philly's gonna be better. Offensively, Philly's gonna be better. They can run the football. They can.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the defense is constantly on the field.
He wasn't as accurate last year. That doesn't mean he's not getting better. He's not in the lab. He's not getting better to be better next season. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is that
they traded away one of their first round picks.
You can fix that with mechanics, and Jalen Hurts is a guy that I know from going from Alabama to Oklahoma, from Oklahoma to the pros. He's gotten better every single season. So give me Philly.
Moving on, Jacksonville comes to their house. I don't think we need to talk about this a whole lot. Tennessee wins this game. I have them moving to 8-5.
I think I got them at like 9-5 because I got them beating
9-4.
7. I got them at
9-4.
I got them at 7-6. They're beating Jacksonville.
Now I got them at 9-5. I think the Chargers.
Derrick Henry's gonna have one of those 250-yard games. He loves playing Jacksonville.
Against Jacksonville.
Yeah, he loves playing Jacksonville.
They go to Los Angeles and SoFi Stadium, take on the Chargers. I think this is where the winning streak ends. I have them losing to the Chargers, and now I have them at 8-6.
9-5.
And then the
I got them at 7-7 because they're gonna lose to the Chargers.
And then the final 3 games, they go. Houston comes there, Dallas comes here, and then they go to Jacksonville. How many of these games do they win of the 3?
They win at least 2 out of 3.
They win at least 2 out of the 3.
Yeah. So they're gonna be 9-8, in my opinion.
Well, I got them at 11-6.
I have them
9-8 in my opinion, and that doesn't make the playoffs.
I have them at I have them at 10-7, and I do not think so. I had the Colts yesterday at 11-6, so I had the Colts actually winning this division, and I'm not sure that 10-7 gets them into the playoffs. I think it's going to be close.
And 9-8 sure as hell don't get them in the playoffs in the AFC.
I got them at 11-6, and because I wasn't here for the Colts preview, I think the Tennessee Titans repeat and win the division at 11-6.
Derrick Henry in those 2 games against Jacksonville. Well, I don't know. The last game he might. I don't know. Depending on they might be playing for the playoff lives at the last game of the season. Derrick Henry might have over 500 yards total against Jacksonville this season.
I don't think that's even bold.
That's not bold.
I don't think you're saying anything bold there.
Right. That's not a reach. Like that's.
He kills him. He kills him every time.
That's on par for what he does against him.
If you own Derrick Henry in fantasy, I hate to bring fantasy. If you own Derrick Henry in fantasy, those are 2 games that you circle on your fantasy on your schedule where you're like, Derrick Henry's gonna have a 20+ point performance.
30+ points performance.
30.
So again, all right. Again, like they're gonna be a player in the AFC conference, not just because of their division, right? They have the only divisional opponent they got to worry about is Indy. Tennessee makes the playoff. Like that's they only got to worry about one other team, right? And it's the Colts, the Giants, no run defense whatsoever. Buffalo, we've seen Buffalo be susceptible to the run. Same thing with Vegas. The Colts, we got them splitting. Washington, we don't know what's going on. Like they have more things to worry about than just football right now. Again, Houston, terrible. Kansas City can get ran on. Denver can get Green Bay. I don't care what Izzy say. Green Bay can get ran on. Right? They can get ran on. I don't care what you say, Izzy. You top 7 defense. We will see.
What happened the last time they came in? What happened the last time we played them?
It snowed. It snowed. That's what happened.
That's a horrible excuse.
It snowed. Philly.
Philly. Hey, I just want to point out this comment right here. David Henderson. They all know I can't stand Mike McCarthy either, and he my fellow Packer fan. We can't stand Mike McCarthy, so we actually hope that they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Okay.
The Tennessee still quarterbacking. So I don't care what you like. Again, their defense is going to be better. Izzy, do you realize it doesn't matter if their defense is better if they're still on the field? 3-and-outs puts your defense back on the field. Tired as hell.
And I'm saying you're talking about snow. Oh, it's snow. That should be a benefit for Derrick Henry. It should have been a benefit for Derrick Henry.
But they got down early and they abandoned the run. Moving on. So Tennessee should for sure be in the playoff picture. Do I think they're going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC this season? No.
Probably not. No.
Buffalo is probably going to be but I think they'll be
they should definitely win their division.
Yeah, I probably agree with you on there. Let us know what you think about Tennessee. I have them at 10 wins. Izzy's got them at 9 wins. TJ's got them at 11 wins. Let me know down in the comments section what you think they're going to be doing. And continue checking us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube as well. Please like, share, and subscribe. Every single like, every single share helps us build this brand. So thank you very much for being on us with this ride. I've been David Huppman, CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera, and TJ Hopkins. Thank you very much for joining us. Gentlemen, what we do here at the Prom, my friends?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen, 24/7. And go ahead and like that. Go ahead and like the Prime Sports World page.
I can't wait till we get to the Packers season preview. I can't wait.
Come on, man.
I can't wait. Oh my God. David, I will wake up early for that one. I will cut my sleep short
You
for
best
that
believe
one.
I'm gonna have my boy David Henderson come on for that podcast.
We'll be back here. We'll be back here
Can't
tomorrow.
What Bart Scott say? Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
We will be jumping into the NFC South after this, doing the Carolina Panthers tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that season preview. If you happen to be a Carolina Panthers fan, you want to join us on the show, the StreamYard link will always be in the show when we post it live. David Huffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins. You all have a good night and stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.
Peace out, guys.